Hi and welcome. In this section, I'm going to answer to one of the most common questions that startup founders ask me when it comes to choose a development provider. How can I evaluate that company? And especially as I do not have a technical profile. In order to help you to do this, I'm going to provide you 10 questions I recommend you to consider in order to evaluate that potential provider. But first off, why is it so critical to choose the right provider? It's just because you are a startup and you need to go fast, to save money by choosing the best option, to build a great product so that you need a great provider, and to anticipate, in technology speaking, to choose the right product, the right framework, the right language to create your product so that for future version it will be compatible as well. In other words, the success of your company depends on your provider. And to make it simple, here are few criteria to analyze. First off, the value of your providers. Then being sure that he understands your market and that his team have a quite good level. The project management methodology, and finally, test and bug tracking methodology. Let's get deep to it by asking them 2 questions on each of these areas. I like to start with this one, because before to be a provider, your contact is a human. And if you want to work effectively with him, you have to be a good fit with him. So let's ask him general questions like, what is your personal background and why do you believe you are a good fit for my project? That's the question where you will see if this person really understands and really like your project, yes or no. And let's ask him another question. For you, what are the key ingredients for a good business relationship? From my own point of view, the best ingredient is just transparency. And asking him to be transparent along the way, even if there are some difficulties, sharing that difficulties with you, and you as a client sharing your own difficulties, that will be the best advice that I can provide you. The second most important thing is to be sure that your providers understand what is the market. What is the market that you want to serve? You cannot create a product if you do not understand perfectly the needs. So let's ask him a few questions. Please, can you reformulate what the project is all about and how it will work? By asking that question, you will ensure that your provider really understood what you want and have a clear vision of what you expect. And you will be able to evaluate that as well. Let's ask him that question as well. From a business perspective, what do you think that will be our biggest challenges? And what would you suggest us to do for it? In that case, you will understand if your provider really have this general understanding on what you are about to achieve, what you want to achieve, what is your business vision. Okay, now let's talk about the technical team level. This one is kind of obvious, but you do need to evaluate them. And the best question to ask is to be sure they are willing to reuse existing piece of software like API solution or like open source solution. So let's ask them that question. What are the best API integrations or tools that you use to save some development time? This question might be very interesting to see if they reuse existing framework, language, and how they make decision on that path. The other question I recommend you to ask is, what is the project that your team is the most proud of? And that you might also ask, what is the project that your team is the less proud of? And in that case, having a general understanding on how they work when things goes right and how they work and how they deal when things goes wrong. And being sure that if anything goes wrong on your project, and for sure there are always a couple of things that goes wrong, how will you solve it together as a team? Okay, next point is about the project management. The project management is very key when it comes to create a project, a development, a startup. So let's ask them that question. What guidelines should we use for the project management? Maybe they should recommend you to use agile methodology or project management tools. By being sure they are used to manage large projects that ensure they will guide you on the right path and so that they have a large experience. Another question that you might consider is, as a startup, how can we have specifications and still shape the product, shape the project along the way? And again, on that question, the right answer should be, we use Agile Scrum methodology. And by this methodology, we only specify what we need to do next. And what is on the long term, it's just something that we need to specify later on. So we focus on specification for the next few weeks, 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And for the rest, it's just basic specification, more a vision than specification, where the developer can understand what the project is about and what he will need to consider to implement in the future. And finally, the quality purpose, the quality topic. Be sure that your provider has some QA, quality assurance process. And let's ask him that question. How would you manage software testing? Software testing is everything when it comes to make things more reliable. So let's see what kind of answer he has, and be sure that other developers will test what the main developers did. The second question is, okay, how do we manage bugs reports? Whether it's your bug reports, whether it's me as a client, or whether it's my own client or on the website, I highly recommend you to put a button or find the bugs. Just let us know and we answer as quickly as we can. And all that bugs report need to go on one place so that the developer will keep track on it, solve it depending on the importance, the emergency of each bugs. And having this bugs solving process is really important. And that's a good way to evaluate a provider as well. Here it is. So keep in mind that choosing a provider is just key for your project. So just be pragmatic in your decision-making process. And on that note, just feel free to download the question checklists just below, and be sure to check other content on myctofriend.co. There are lots of other key advice to help you on your successful path. And take care and see you on the next videos. Bye for now.